Welcome to Fusion Freaks Cars. If you're new here, please remember to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, leave a comment, share and like the video. Let's dive in.
And this is the all-new 2023 Acura Integra. After more than 15 years of being out, Integra is back. But is it as good as the original? Let's find out. Before we talk about the new Integra, let's dive a little bit into its history. It launched in 1986 alongside the legend when Acura was getting started here in the US. And back then, Integra was a revolutionary car among sports cars. It drove really well, but really what was amazing behind it was its engine. A 1.6-liter multi-valve engine was powering it, and that was revolutionary among sports cars. Integra wasn't known because of its high horsepower. In fact, the first gen only had 113 horsepower. It was known because it drove like a sports car without hurting your wallet. Fast forward to the 90s and the Type R was born. That car was a monster, and enthusiasts even today keep talking about it. That car proved to be a fun car to drive without breaking your wallet, and it proved also Acura's engineering expertise. But in 2001, things started to go a little sideways. The Integra nameplate left the US and the RSX came over here. It was essentially the same car except just with a new nameplate. But in 2006, Acura decided to pull the plug on its performance model and the RSX was discontinued. That decision obviously left us very sad, but now we're happy that Integra is back. The question remains though, is this Integra going to pay homage to its predecessor? Because Integra is an icon, the new Integra had to have some kind of throwback to the original model, and that starts here in the front. Of course, you have the Integra name embossed in the front, but also throw some modern design cues, like the frameless grille, the first time we see that in an Acura car. Just like any other Acura, we also have the signature chicane daytime running lights, very strong character lines in the front. And moving over to the profile, there's no chrome anywhere, representing that this is a sporty model. And starting from the C-pillar to the rear, this is really what makes this car unique. This is a lift-back design just like the original model. And so this is exactly what Acura was looking for, to kind of like throw back to that original Integra back in 1986. Moving over to the rear, we have the chicane taillights, big Acura logo in the middle, a ducktail spoiler, and big exhaust. So in a way, Acura asked itself, if Integra was in the market today, how would it look? And their answer is this. Let's talk about performance. Just like the original Integra, the current Integra shares its powertrain with the Civic. That means in this case that we're getting a 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine with 200 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. That's the same powertrain and the same output that the Civic Si makes. Now, in this case, we have a CVT transmission or a 6-speed manual as the options. The CVT is actually the standard transmission, whereas the 6-speed is optional and it's only available for the top trim level. Now, how it drives, is it just as similar as the Si? We still don't know. What we do know, however, is that yes, it shares its powertrain and its chassis with the Civic, but Acura tells us that pretty much everything from about here to the top of the car is unique to Integra. This is also a longer car than the Civic hatchback. It's about 6.8 inches longer. So how it drives, it will probably be much different than the Civic Si, but we can't wait to find out probably in May of this year. So like its powertrain, the interior comes straight from the Civic, and that's actually not a bad thing because Integra is an attainable car and has always been an attainable car. Then Acura had to keep costs down. And how do you do that? Well, by sharing parts with the Civic. And so that's exactly what we have here, with cool details like these air vents that come straight from the Civic. There's this nice texture plastic that kind of like differentiates itself from the Civic. There's also another cut here in the dashboard that makes it look a little bit different from the Civic. Now, I love this digital display in front of me. It's super nice to have, bright, nice graphics, really good overall. You have a head-up display, 6-speed manual transmission, This is obviously the top trim, so you're getting all of that included with it, the A-Spec with the technology package. And you have suede seats with leather, so they're actually pretty comfortable. They have nice grabby seats on the sides. And in terms of space, the second row has actually pretty good space in legroom. Headroom is a little bit limited for tall passengers, and that is because of the fastback profile. But overall, this is a pretty good design. And honestly, if you're gonna start at around $30,000 and you're gonna get something like this, then it's actually pretty good value. So that's the all-new 2023 Acura Integra. We still have a lot of questions remaining. Is there a Type S coming? Is a Type R coming back? Will it drive as good as the original Integra? We'll find out those questions later this year when Integra arrives to dealers later this spring. But in the meantime, we're pretty happy that the Integra nameplate is back.
That's all for now. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.